everybody, it's Dr. Joe, and today I'm going to show you my top 5 treatments for tight muscles. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So the first thing you want to do when you have tight muscles is do a good warm up first. If you go into stretches right away, you usually don't get as much benefit. If you warm up, then the muscles are nice and loose and warm and they stretch a little bit better. So I usually like to use a band just to do a warm up. So if I was having my tight muscles, maybe in my quads, my hamstrings, maybe even my glutes, I would just take a band and then just kind of put it around my thighs here and then just lie down. And the reason I like the band is because it kind of gives you some resistance in a bunch of different directions. So I'm going to do a bridge, but I'm going to do a bridge with the band so I have some resistance going this way as well as when I come up. So I want to still keep my knees about hip shoulder width apart, and then I'm going to try and keep that amount of tension on it as I come up into the bridge. So if my knees start coming in and they can't hold that tension, it might just be a little bit too much of a resistance band. But just holding right there, come up into that bridge, get that nice kind of straight line at the top if you can. If you can't, that's okay. And then just nice and slow, controlling it back down. So with this, I would just start off with maybe, 10. You can do 1 to 2 sets of 10. And this is a great way to kind of get those muscles loosened up. It's kind of a whole leg kind of thing. You can also stand up and do some squats with the band as well. So kind of using that band to get that extra kind of warm up with it, but you're not doing a big heavy exercise yet. You're just getting those muscles warm. So after you get them nice and warmed up, then you can do a little bit of rolling out. If your muscles are really tight, sometimes stretches don't quite do the job. So you can use something like a rolling stick to kind of get it worked out. So let's say my quad's really tight here. I like using a stick because you have a little bit more control. You can come over on the side, get that IT band a little bit, come up onto the quads. You can get the lateral, you can get the main one, you can get the VMO on the inside, and then even the adductor. So if I'm really tight in that area, this is a great way to kind of loosen it up. Even if I wanted to go back into the hamstrings on this side, I could do that as well. So when you're using a rolling stick or something, this one's nice because it's firm, it doesn't give, and so it gives you a lot of some pressure on there. You can usually just start off with maybe like 1 minute. If you have really tight muscles, this will work it out and you're going to feel it. But eventually you can go up to 2, 3, maybe even 5 minutes of just rolling out the whole body. You can kind of even go into the calf as well and get it nice and loosened up. So if you don't have a rolling stick, or if you want something maybe a little bit more pressure than the rolling stick, you can use a roller. This one is really cool because you can see it's got some acupressure points on it. So again, maybe if I wanted to roll out my calves, but maybe the stick wasn't quite enough, then I can start using a little bit of body weight pressure. So I'm just I can turn it in and out, get all sides of that calf. These little acupressure points are giving that extra push in there. And so I'm not feeling a nice, good stretch in there. And if that's if that's actually too much with the acupressure points, you can take this piece off right here and then just use the roller. Now this isn't a foam roller. You can see here it's made out of a firm rubber material, so it's nice and solid. So again, this is going to give you that nice pressure for those tight muscles to work them out. And so as you can see here, I've used a couple different things so far, and the folks at Skyin sent me their recovery kit. And so this is really cool because if you work out a lot and you have tight muscles, sometimes it's nice to have a variety of things to use, because this might be great for a smaller muscle, this might be great for a larger muscle group. If you're doing your arms or your shoulders, you can do it with just here, but that might not be enough pressure, so you can get the roller. Now, since this is not a foam roller, since it's that hard rubber, you don't want to do something like rolling out your spine, because that's going to just be a little bit too much pressure. So just make sure that you're aware of that. And so then also you can just use for the acupressure points here. So if you were sitting, you could put your feet on it. A lot of times when you have just general tight muscles, even down into your feet, like a plantar fascia, maybe a plantar fasciitis, or just maybe some cramping in the arches, if you're sitting in a chair, you might get more pressure. You can also just, if you've got some tightness in your low back, a lot of times those acupressure points have been shown to really kind of help relax the muscles. So you can just kind of lie down on it. For some people, this might be uncomfortable at first because, you know, they're little points, so you feel the kind of tingling feeling. But if you lie here for long enough, maybe a minute to 2 minutes, it gives a kind of nice warm feeling because it just helps increase the circulation. And a lot of times with tight muscles, what's happening is you're not getting good circulation in there. So that's just a really, really good way to kind of try different things and get that blood flowing, that circulation increased, to get those tight muscles out of there. And the strap is really cool. I wanted to go back to that really quickly because you can see here that you can change the loop size, and that also gives you a little bit of different tension. So it has a couple different spots here where you can change it, which is really nice as well. And then it also has two little silicone strips on the inside, so then it doesn't slip as much. So this is a really cool type of band as well. And it's also cloth instead of latex, so it's going to last you a lot longer than other types of resistant bands. So if you're interested in purchasing the recovery kit, make sure and click on the link up there. So the last one that I really like is kind of doing just a whole body stretch, especially if you're tight. Sometimes you might just be maybe tight in your calves because you're running a lot. But a lot of times if you're doing a whole body workout, you're tight kind of all over. And probably my favorite whole body stretch is a prayer stretch. And so with a prayer stretch, if you're comfortable getting down on your knees, that's great, on the floor. Any of these, it's better to do on a firm surface, but you can do them on your couch or on the bed. But if your knees aren't too painful just to come down like this, you're going to go into a prayer stretch where then you're just stretching your arms out and then coming all the way down. So you can see here I'm stretching out my shoulders. If I have some tight shoulders, I'm stretching out my hips, my knees, and even my feet. You can see they're pointed out. So it's really a nice whole body stretch. And so this one you'd really want to lie here for about 30 seconds and then come back up and do 3 times. So you can start here and roll out, or if that doesn't quite work for you, maybe if your knees are a little tight, you can actually start with your hands out in front of you and then lean back. So if I couldn't go all the way down, I'm still getting a really nice shoulder stretch. I'm still stretching out my hips and my knees and my feet as well. So I really like to finish off with that whole body stretch, which is really nice. So those were my top 5 treatments for muscle tightness. If you're interested in purchasing the recovery kit, make sure and click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.